Hey guys, and welcome back. In this video we are going to talk about phrasing. Similar to what we've talked about in previous videos, when we take a solo or when we're playing music, we're creating a language for ourselves or we're creating a story. Phrasing in music is the same idea as the way we use the English language. First we start out with letters. The letters turn into words. The words turn into sentences, which turn into paragraphs, which turn into stories. And that's ultimately what we want to do. We want to be able to tell a story. So for a formula, what I do is I take the 12-bar blues and I chop it up into 4 measures apiece. So in the diagram up above, what I've done is chopped the 12-bar progression into 4 measures per line. I have lick A over the first line, I'll have A prime over the second line, and over the third line, I have B. So A prime is basically a variation of A. So let's take this lick idea for our A phrase. So that's what we'll play over our first 4 bars, or our A phrase. When we get to A prime, we'll take the same lick idea and alter it a little bit so that it's similar to the first phrase, but different enough so that we're not playing the exact same thing over again. So we'll try something like this. Now, when we get to the turnaround, what we want to do is work with the harmony in bringing everything back to the top of the form. That's the job of the turnaround in terms of the harmony, to bring us right back to the top of the form. We want to do that the exact same way with our solos. We want to create a contrary phrase that brings us right back to the top. So we'll use something like this. What we'll do now is play through the changes, and we'll use these lick ideas. 4 chord. Lick A prime. So what I did there in the first 4 bars was I took lick A and I varied it a couple of times. Then I took A prime for the next 4 bars and I varied that a little bit more. When I got to the turnaround, I played something completely different up in this position. When I got to the turnaround, I played that completely different lick that brought us back to the top of the form, just the way that the harmony does. What we're doing here is trying to create cohesive phrases to put together to create a solo. What we don't want is just a flurry of notes that have no direction or anything like that. We want to make sure that our solo has a purpose and it has a direction. We're going from point A to point B. That doesn't mean we have to use the entire alphabet. We can just use chunks of things and vary them just a little bit so that we don't have to create this huge Pythagorean theorem to create a guitar solo. We have just a few ideas to work with that we can expand upon. I'll play a couple of choruses and do the exact same thing. So lick A, and then lick A prime. Our turnaround lick will be something like this. Be around that area. So here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready. The idea with phrasing is to take motifs and change them. You don't have to create these huge monster licks all the time. You can take one lick idea that's only 4 notes. And you can change those and manipulate them and sequence them in different ways that still obviously are the same 4 notes, but create different outcomes. So I'm playing. not doing too much movement, but in making enough of an impact to create some alternate ideas and contrast from what I've played before, so that you're not just repeating yourself over and over again. And that's the concept of phrasing. You want to follow the progression as much as you can. You want to create lick ideas for yourself that are consonant. You don't want to be bouncing all over the place. You want to be able to get from point A to point B in a very, very clear and concise way. And that wraps up this little blues series. If you're interested in more, I have a blues masterclass that you can check out. I'll leave a link in the description below. It expands upon a lot of these topics and gets into the nitty-gritty of creating the blues solo and also being a great rhythm guitarist. And I really highly recommend it if you're really into the blues right now. Thank you guys so much for watching these videos. As always, stay tuned. I'll always have more content for you guys, and until then, take care.